Think about what happens when you press the follow button on social media. You do not just send a nod of approval, you sign a contract, you hand the platform permission to inject content into your brain. You let updates, ads, and emotions pop up on your screen every day. If you're someone who doesn't follow anyone on social media, you already know that. You understand it perfectly. You refuse to sign the contract, but you don't do it to avoid humans. You do it to survive the internet. You do it to stay sane without throwing your phone in the trash. You stay online. You just decide to guard the front door. This highlights a huge difference in how we get our updates. Usually, a social media feed is aggressively pushed onto you. The app decides what you see based on complex algorithms. But a person with zero following wants to pull information instead. They search for things only when they actually need them. An area of study called lurking research explores this behavior. It shows that many people are simply information seekers. They like to observe and learn from the sidelines. They collect useful tips without wanting to jump into the comments. They don't reject the modern world. They simply reject the idea that a computer program should pick their daily reading material. For these folks, the app is just a handy tool, not a digital living room. We all use platforms for very different reasons. Some use it to promote work, message a specific friend, or buy things locally. If you only use an app like a hammer, you do not need to decorate it with a colorful feed. How we act online changes based on what we need. A person might be chatty on a private forum, but totally silent on a photo app. For some, social media is a neighborhood where they hang out. For others, it is just a utility they use and forget about. There is also a deeper emotional reason for keeping this clean slate. Following people means getting a constant stream of updates about their lives. You see their vacations, relationships, and career wins. People usually only post their absolute best moments. Psychologists study a concept called upward social comparison. This happens when you compare your regular, messy reality to someone else's polished highlight reel. Studies strongly link upward social comparison to negative self-worth, anxiety, depression, and body image struggles. Having a zero following list removes those daily measuring sticks. You cannot compare yourself to a fake highlight reel if you never tune into the channel. And of course, not all comparison is bad. Seeing someone succeed can actually inspire you or give you genuine hope. The effect depends on who you are and how your brain handles it. But for those who feel the sting, an empty feed is a safe haven. It is also a way to escape the constant performance of online friendship. When you follow someone, there is an invisible pressure to like pictures and leave nice comments. But some hate the idea that friendship needs a public paper trail to be real. Research into online self-presentation shows that people curate fake versions of themselves online. This creates a stressful gap between authentic self-expression, which is being yourself, and idealized self-presentation, which is putting on a perfect show. People who express themselves authentically tend to feel much better. Following people also might result in exhaustion because you are trying to keep up with everyone. Some disconnect simply to escape the pressure of always being reachable. Our phones have blurred the line between being available for emergencies and being on call for everyone all the time. Following, nobody wipes out that pressure completely. This brings us to the problem of information overload. A normal feed is a chaotic mix of friends, brands, news, and loud influencers. The sheer volume is deeply exhausting. Researchers study this feeling under the names social overload and social media fatigue. These heavy feelings drive some people to stop participating and watch quietly instead. Keeping that list at zero is the easiest way to stop a tiny update from becoming an endless scroll. Your following list is a massive giveaway of your true self. It shows your politics, hobbies, health worries, and secret interests. Even if you never post, that list reveals who you really are. Research shows that privacy concerns change how much we share online. A zero list keeps your interests strictly private. Plus, every follow trains the platform's system. It teaches the algorithm exactly how to categorize you and what ads will keep you hooked. Some people hate being profiled like this. They want autonomy. Research shows that people desperately want to reclaim their personal control. They want to set firm limits so technology does not run their everyday lives. An empty feed clearly says they decide what gets their attention, not a computer. Now, we must understand that a quiet online profile does not mean a lonely life. It often belongs to someone with a rich, offline life. Psychology looks at two main ideas here. One is social enhancement, where people with great offline friendships expand them online. The other is social compensation, where people who feel lonely look for support on the internet. Because both behaviors are normal, we cannot judge a person's real-life friendships by their follower count. A person following nobody might rely entirely on text messages or real-life meetups. They do not need an online audience because their friends know where to find them. As a result, they might just be tired of maintaining weak ties. Social media forces us to stay aware of hundreds of distant acquaintances, creating emotional clutter. Some people just want a few close friends instead. Also, often a zero following count is born from pure burnout. It is a strong reaction to severe social media fatigue. Usually a person starts out following hundreds of different accounts. Eventually the feed gets stressful. They start unfollowing people slowly to get some relief. Finally, they realize that managing a list of zero is much easier than constantly pruning a messy feed. Research links this intense fatigue directly to pulling back and actively avoiding information. These users just want to listen without being seen. Remember the lurking research? Lurking is not just about being creepy, it is actually a strategic choice. People get genuine value from quietly reading forums without ever making a profile picture. They want a safe window to look at the world, but they do not want to build a visible house inside of it. For some users, the choice goes even deeper. They want to avoid turning into a version of themselves they dislike. Social apps push us to worry about how attractive we look and how popular our opinions are. This makes normal life feel like a constant stage play. Some people leave their following list blank because they simply refuse to put on a show. Over time, this deliberate disconnection becomes a proud way to say they value their real life more than their internet life. But following nobody is also not a magic cure for mental health. Studies show that taking a short break from social media does not always make people happier. One study found that while pulling back lowered negative feelings, it sadly lowered positive ones too. A big review of the research found no huge overall effect on life satisfaction when people quit social media. So when you wipe out your entire feed, you certainly wipe out the stress. But you also wipe out the chance to find new friends, get unexpected emotional support, and discover cool things. Lurking research shows that while quiet users learn a lot, active users tend to get much stronger emotional support. Protecting yourself from social stress means you might miss out on real social joy. True human connection always takes a little bit of risk. An empty following list is not a sign of a stuck-up person. It is just a very thick, heavy boundary. It is a line drawn safely in the sand between the messy, beautiful relationships they choose in real life and the endless noise the internet tries to choose for them.